Hello there, folks. Josh here. The apple of my eye, really super, runs in the 5:5 at Kempton on Tuesday, the 2nd of June. You can find my, a few scribbles and notes below this video, but I thought it would be, well, you might find it useful to hear my views, myself and my fellow shareholders will be excited to see her back on the track. Um, this is sort of a prep for a return to jumps racing next month, and that's probably the case for a few in here. Uh, Maybe the Ian Williams horse Pipes. Um, Maybe Fries might be sent over hurdles, who knows? And possibly the same for Alan Kings. Um, so she won't be, obviously, well, none of these are going to be race fit, but as I've said in the notes below, she was being prepared for a race at Haydock in April. She was pretty way on her way to being kind of fit and ready for a return to the track. She's been ticking over since. I think she'll be fitter than when she returned at Nottingham, but I'll take you through some of her form in a moment. Kind of a year ago. So I'm hopeful she will be fit enough to do herself justice. Whether or not she'll be fit enough uh, to win remains to be seen. But I don't think fitness will necessarily be the excuse if she isn't placed or doesn't get competitive. Um, what do I want to say generally? It looks a fairly open race. I'm in the excellent GG's race cards. Um, this is just on the sire settings for the last 2 years and the place stats. So you can see Super's sire here. Uh, Plenty of green in terms of win and place percentages at the course and on standard the slow. Um, as you can see, some of the others are in Tello. That's for Ned Peppers, for Alan Kings, etc., etc. As quite a few of the sires in this have decent records in these conditions. She's related to some all-weather winners, including her dam. You can see that there. So really, I'm hopeful that the surface isn't going to be a problem, and that I think over 1 mile 4 at Kempton they use the outer loop. So hopefully it's galloping enough. Obviously, it's got sweeping bends either end and relatively long straights for an all-weather course anyway. So hopefully she handles the track and conditions fine. Um, I think she'll be fit enough. I think she's well handicapped. If I just switch back to the actual horse stats we can see here for their all time. So this is the kind of instant expert, GD's instant expert profile against the horses. If I go onto flat and all weather down here in all codes, you can see there's lots of red and lots of white boxes indicating they haven't run in conditions, and lots of red suggesting horses aren't proven in them. Most of them haven't necessarily tried these race conditions too many times, which may indicate these conditions may be a reason for an improved performance we see tomorrow. Of those kind of with a flat handicap mark that have won on the flat or all weather, I think that's what, yeah, the ones that are highlighted means. You can see you wouldn't exactly say there's anything necessarily chucked in. Kensington Art £6 above last winning mark. Hackbridge £4. Singing the Blues £9. And I think he had a £5 claim on as well when he won last time. Artie Campbell's £8 below his last winning mark. He's getting on for 10 now, but you can see his record in certain conditions there. I suspect he wants a bit further. The market may or may not guide there, currently 50s or so. And Secretario, who won last time out, possibly still open to a bit of improvement, gone up £3. So that's their kind of the horses profile. That was the win. This is the place. In terms of in the class, you can see they're really super. Class fives on flat or all weather and over the trip, not too bad. It may be that when it comes to kind of racing on the level, all she's ever wanted is to race at Kempton and on a standard to slow surface, or an all-weather synthetic surface. We shall see. The one major question for her, I mean, you can see here, Singing the Blues ticks a lot of kind of win and place boxes at Secretario, as you can see at the bottom, 2 from 2, win and place on the distance. So he kind of ticks all race conditions. Um, So yeah, you can kind of get the idea. The one question is the trip. Um, Hopefully the pace setup, you can see here I'm using the GG's heat map. I can just use the graphic. She should be near the front, and there's nothing that traditionally just bombs on. Both of these two above may want further. Oisin Murphy may be aggressive enough, but she's got the chance to be up in the van. You can see here from the stats that leading is important, or those that lead have a decent record over this course and distance. So I'm done 5.5 minutes. I won't keep going on. The trip might be on the short side. That's the one concern, and obviously the track is a complete unknown. But you've seen what I've said about that there. If she can lay up easily on the pace and can stretch them and get away on the turn for home, I hope Tom is aggressive. We may have some fun, but there's only one way to find out. I'm going to have a kind of interest each way nibble, and I'll keep everything crossed that she can get off the mark on the level from a mark of 72, which I think could be £5 to £10 below her kind of below what she could achieve on the flat, but only well, she has to go and prove that, obviously. I say that because of form like this at Nottingham when she returned after 186 days. That was over 2 furlongs further. It was a Class 4 better race. The two horses in front of her are low 80s animals. One of them would go on and win again. Both would place numerous times from marks of kind of 80 to 83. And she's developed a bit more. She's probably a better horse since then again, especially mentally, physically a little bit bigger. So I live in hope that in a staying contest she might have £5 to £10 in hand and be a kind of 80s horse on the flat. She does have to prove that, of course. She hasn't had many opportunities since it all clicked for her. And she's obviously very versatile, which is brilliant. Wins over hurdles for us, a chase win at Kempton, when the cheek pieces kind of switched her on and Jack got stuck into her early, as did the flatter track. So at least she's used to coming to the course, if not the all-weather aspect. And the surroundings may look familiar to some degree. So she's versatile. She's obviously a wonderful horse who owns a syndicate. She's won 4 times for us. Rarely runs a bad race without a legitimate excuse. And yeah, fingers crossed she can add a flat win to her name. I'm hoping I'll be on the edge of my seat as they swing for home. It'd be wonderful if she could place. Obviously superb if she could win. It would open up a few more options, I suppose, especially with summer jumping and the ground possibly going to be fairly hard. But those options haven't really been discussed. And like I said, there's no set plan as such. Very much a sharpening of a possible jumps target or jumps race next month. Nothing's really been penciled in. But if she runs really well here or indicates she's worth stepping up in trip and keeping on the level and to the all-weather, we might give that a go and stay with that. So really many options ahead. So yeah, hopefully she can run a good race. I won't go through every other single horse in this, but I think she could beat them all. There's some interesting ones. Ned Pepper I've mentioned in the notes below. Unexposed. He might need further. He might need a more aggressive ride. They keep holding him up in slowly run races, and he keeps finishing with a rattle. So I think he's well handicapped. Just a question of when it all clicks and he shows it. This one at the bottom's proven in race conditions, as I've said. Course and distance, course winner, a distance winner. May need to step up again, but he's open to do that, and he may well do it. He's certainly unexposed for this trainer, so that's an interesting one. And then we've got the likes of Mick Appleby, who's got a lightly raced one, but does have a few questions, including distance, but unexposed. And we saw that he had a maiden winner at Newcastle, so they were kind of forward enough. Well, that one certainly was. The likes of the Fahy horse indicate they might be better over further, and that's similar to a Super, I suppose. You've got Pipes as another jumper. I'd like to think Super's better than him. Paddy the chef may want a bit further also, but maybe not. But again, is he just a Class 6 animal? And it's hard to say he's well handicapped, but you never know. So on and on. I could go on. I should mention the Harry Fry horse, I suppose. I tick round to 10 minutes. Unexposed out of the Michael Stout yard. I'm not quite sure if many horses are improved from Michael Stout. Again, he's got a stamina question, well-being question, fitness question, but Ryan Moore has been booked, and obviously the market won't miss that. So he's interesting. He's lightly raced, unexposed. I don't know whether they've got ideas of him being a hurdler summer herder in the future. I don't know. I could go on and on, but I won't, because I've just ticked around 10 minutes, and that's probably long enough. But hopefully some interesting thoughts there, or some thoughts of some useful musings, hopefully. Like I said, I'll be having a kind of small each way bet, and hope that through the early parts of the race she can have a prominent position and she can hold it, and Tom can kind of dictate would be ideal, and then we really may have some fun, because he can try and gallop them into the ground. Fingers crossed. But with that said, I will shut up now, and say thanks for watching, and yeah, until the next time, bye for now.